Gary Bettman. We don't make the decisions. He gets paid very handsomely to make the wrong decisions all the time. Who are we? Who are we to argue with old Jerry Bettman there? All right, on the other side, the Maple Leafs and Dennis Hildeby come to an agreement on a long-term deal. What does that mean? And could a PTO be in the cards shortly? We'll get to that and more next in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. When you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visually, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. And that's a big one there. You know, if you feel like you're not saving as much as you think you should, Monarch can help you find inefficient investments that you're making are, things you don't need, like subscriptions that you're paying more than you should. Go and check out Monarch because you don't want to let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morsuti with you as we are each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, soon to be 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, in a couple of weeks here once training camp kicks off. You can find us free and available wherever you get your podcasts and also up on YouTube as well. All right, so the playoff salary cap is now being implemented in 2026. There's a couple other things too that will immediately be implemented this season that is part of the upcoming CBA. The no deferred compensation in contracts will no longer be allowed. No double salary retention in trades. That's another one that is going to be implemented. And this is another one that could impact the trade deadline. Like, the double salary retention was huge. Like, that was a huge way for teams to try and get players to fit them under the cap. But I guess it kind of makes sense that if you need double salary retention to get a player, there's a good chance that that player will no longer be eligible for your team's cap come playoff time anyways, if you're that up against it. So I suppose it makes sense with the new cap rule in the playoffs, but it does kind of stink to know that loophole is being closed by the league.
Yeah, we saw the Leafs do it a few times. I think Nick Foligno was one of those players that they did the
Ryan O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly was a double retention guy. I think they took on some cap space in a couple of deals.
Robin Leonard, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, so like teams were using it. Like if teams had cap space, they used it to like basically buy a draft pick. So I guess that's no longer going to be possible. So that's kind of interesting that they're closing that loophole. And also the player dress code mandate is being
yes, we got to get to the real issue here.
Oh yeah, we can't go another year with these guys having to wear suits. Gotta let them, be themselves and wear whatever makes them comfortable showing up to the rink. That has to be immediately addressed. Absolutely. And apparently there was a rule in the CBA that prevented players from endorsing wine and spirits. Did you know this? I did not realize that. But apparently that is being taken out of the newest CBA, and that's something also that will immediately be available to players. So not only are they able to endorse gambling, but they can now also endorse wine and spirits as well.
I thought that was changing. I thought, especially certain provinces, we live in Ontario. I thought Ontario was supposed to ban celebrities and athletes from being used in gambling ads.
Yeah, I thought I had read something about that too, but we see Austin Matthews in those Bet99 ads all the time.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
McDavid is doing the which one is he? He's doing BetMGM.
I think so. Yeah,
Him and Gretzky were doing it.
Gretzky's doing BetMGM, like GSP's Bet99. Yeah, like there's a lot of guys and athletes that are still doing this stuff. I don't know if it was until if they got grandfathered in because they were already done. Those things were paid for. Maybe it's moving forward. No new projects could be done when it comes to athletes and betting. But it's okay. They can pivot and they could be wine connoisseurs and spirit connoisseurs instead. So not only can they promote gambling, they can promote drinking as well, which is apparently something that the NHL wants them to be in that business of. I'm not sure why, but yeah. So they're no longer preventing players from endorsing wines and spirits. So those are the new CBA items that will be introduced immediately. The other items within the CBA dropping from 8 to 7 year extension lengths, from 7 to 6 for UFAs. That stuff will be implemented next off season. So there are going to be some changes moving forward, a couple immediately and a couple that they're going to wait a little bit on. We'll see how that impacts the rest of the season. I'm not really quite sure how it's going to, but I think there will be some impact, especially the playoff cap and the no double retention. Those I think will actually significantly impact how teams operate this season and especially at the deadline.
It is, and we've already seen teams have to sort of adjust their game plans. I'm very curious to see how this impacts teams' abilities to make moves, right? Like, at the end of the day, teams are going to want to find a way to get better. So they're not going to just be like, this is too hard, guys. I don't think we're going to be able to make these trades we want to do because of these rules. Like, no, you just have to find a better way to do your business, right? So I'm curious to see how the adjustments are made to do it and the approach that teams make now. Like, we already saw in some cases where it becomes more about who's available at the deadline. Then it now becomes like, yeah, we think the team should trade for X, Y, and Z. Well, teams also have to be willing to trade X, Y, and Z because certain teams have found they still believe they have a chance to make the playoffs. And the one thing the league has always been against is expanded playoffs because they don't want. In a way, it kind of helps to not have that expanded playoffs because you can see more movement and more teams decide, yeah, we're just going to punt on the air. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I do want to say, like, give like just to give an example, because I'm not sure we really actually flushed it out what it means